All right, it is time for pre-market prep at the close.
3 consecutive highs, opened, matched yesterday's low, and then once it took out there, that's all the breakout momentum traders needed.
Joe, we've been talking about crypto, but I've been distracted as all hell looking at this market right now. I'm crazy distracted. 3 words. Financial transaction tax, I think, is probably the reason for the sell-off here.
So what are you hearing, Mr. Israel? What are you hearing on the financial transaction? Well, we've been talking about for 4 months, but anyways,
I know,
what are you hearing?
But there was a development today. I guess a senator from Hawaii introduced a bill. Democrat Senator Brian Schatz introduced a bill that would put a 0.1% tax on the sale of stocks, bonds, and derivatives, i.e. options, and also ETFs, I presume. And that hit that came out at like 12:30-ish, I want to say. Here, what time is the headline in Benzinga Pro? The headline in Benzinga Pro was at 12:58. And let me pull your charts up here. We can see.
I do have the charts up. Well, we've been talking about that for quite a while, right? On the show, right? Yeah. But if you want to stick a big old fork in this market, that's it.
Transaction tax. Yeah, talking about short memory. I don't even remember Jerome Powell speaking yesterday. That's out of mind, out of sight. Forget that. That's not even on the radar anymore.
What I'm trying to do, I'm trying to get through this week, and I'm just trying to keep the blinkers on because this is a quad witch, right? Yeah. And it's March Madness, and it's a year ago we had the meltdown in the market over the pandemic. So I'm trying not to get super bearish for you all here, right? So I'm just gonna wait to see. I'm gonna let the market shake and bake. Right now it's shaking, and we'll look at it and we'll see what happens on the expiration because funny things happen, folks. Mm-hmm. And you just got to be prepared for all different scenarios. Just as far as let's just, break down the market here. Rallied off the open, couldn't get to that close or anywhere near the all-time high. Rolled over, tried to come back, and then rolled over again when that news came out of the financial transaction tax. And we just made a new low for a week on a Thursday. So I can't remember when the last time we made a new low for the week on a Thursday. Oh. A Friday or a Monday is something to keep in mind, but so this Thursday action, the only reason I just don't want to leave heavily to the short side, at least for the remainder of the show, and going into is because of the quad witch tomorrow. It really is. I mean, everyone could be selling here, getting out. Oh, we're going to tank tomorrow. This is the crash coming. And you could wake up tomorrow morning and there's huge buying balances across the board. And we open up 30. But hey, I've been wrong before. I'll probably be wrong again. We are trading down on the lows of the session through Monday's low. So until we get back above 39.13 here, the path of least resistance is lower down to 3,900. So just call a spade a spade. Right. One thing killing the market today is oil. Holy mackerel, Spencer! What did you do?
Geopolitical nonsense is what I think is happening here. I mean, U.S. is mad at Russia. Russia's mad at the U.S. Everyone hates each other, and amidst all that, you've still got to deal with the politics of OPEC and OPEC Plus. But oil giving back a huge chunk of those gains from this year.
Yeah, we had. Here's the thing with everyone's like, oh yeah, we're cutting back on supply here. We're gonna, they're just pumping, they're cranking $60. They're getting everything out of the ground that they can. They're selling every barrel they can right and left. So, supply has to be coming online. I don't even know, are there frackers around anymore? But even that might be showing a profit. So you're going to have a glut of supply, and we'll see where the demand is. getting back out of the pandemic, if the demand gets back up to those levels, then the supply will equal it. But I just think that's what you're looking at. Crude oil market, gold, that's green. I don't know, up 590, 1732.90, nothing real special there. Silver, that's going the opposite way. Let's just call this flat at 2605. And Bitcoin, nice range on the day, $3,500 range, kind of leaning on the lower end of the range. Just call this flat at 57,980. Those are the futures, folks. That's what I quote in Bitcoin.
All right, so you want to look at like what's holding up. And if you look just like the performance of the day, you would say, oh, okay, the financials are in the green still. But really the answer is not much. Not much is holding up especially in the last like 3 hours or so. Pretty much, if you're in the chat and you see a stock that hasn't sold up, or you see an asset that hasn't sold off in the last hours, let us know. Seriously. Because I am hard pressed to find anything that has held up relative to the rest of the market in the last 2 or 3 hours. I'm having a hard time.
Bill Big D says
UPST is holding up. I bet it is. Yeah. Even that's off its high. But all right, Bill Big D, props to you.
What did he say?
He said UPST, the one we discussed this morning, the random earnings one. This stock was $50 2 days ago. It's $112 now. I don't know. And now chat's coming through.
Whoa. This thing just kept on going.
Yeah.
Holy mackerel. Look at that. Just the only thing I want you to glean from this chart, folks, and believe me, I'm not trading this thing. I don't own it. I'm not shorting it. I'm not doing anything with it. Probably will never invest in it. But the only thing I would have said to you is if you were trying to short this thing and it broke above 90, then you got to get the hell out of the way, because that level held up for quite a bit during the after hours and the pre-market. And then where this green bar starts right here, that's a regular session. And it told you very quickly. I mean, I don't know, opened 83.54, went to 82, but it told you really quickly that you were wrong at 90. You were wrong shorting this thing at 90. I had no idea this thing would have this kind of continuation move. New all-time high, but just wanted to point out, using the after hours and the pre-market charts, just not necessarily to make great trades, but to keep yourself out of trouble. Another leg lower here in the SPOOs, folks. Selling into the close, just made a low at 0750. I did see a question here about Quad Witch. Yeah. And I know this might be boring for some of you people, but it happens the third Friday of every calendar quarter. March, June, September, and December. If you guys notice, the SPOOs and the bonds and some of the other financial instruments, they trade quarterly. So this is the simultaneous expiration of the following instruments: stock index futures, stock index options, single stock futures, which no one really trades anymore, and then options on stocks. So that's why you have the Quad Witch. You see a lot of liquidity. You see a lot of imbalances. And, Dennis's opinion is, his trading strategy is to fade the imbalances. But we won't get those until tomorrow morning. So right now, a lot of people are selling. They're selling into the Quad Witch. What can happen in these things is if you're waking, overnight, they start buying the index, and all of a sudden there's a ton of buying balances, then it could really set up for a new scenario. So that's why I'm not throwing in the towel on the bear market or on, the bull market ending until we get through this expiration tomorrow. So
and as a reminder, it's not just a Quad Witch. It's not just the first real day of the tournament, NCAA tournament. It's also an S&P rebalance. Have these stocks on your watch list tomorrow. Have NXPI on your watch list. Okay.
Let's just go through these real quick.
Sure. Okay.
NXPI
is being added to the S&P 500.
Look what they did to that thing. They held it up there for a day and then whacked it, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so just be aware of that. Okay, what else?
Generac GNRC, the generator company. We always talk about that like every August, every hurricane season.
Sold it.
Yeah. Again, just to recap, the funds that track the S&P 500 index are going to have to buy these stocks at some point as close as they can into the close. That being said, that does not mean these stocks have to go up just because the trillions of dollars that are tracked against this index has to suddenly buy these stocks. It could mean they go down. All I'm saying is we don't really know. So have it on your radar. NXPI we mentioned, Generac we mentioned, Pan National Gaming.
Yeah, I want to talk about this for a second. Okay. I hope Dave Portnoy isn't listening.
I doubt it,
because this could be it for Penn.
What?
No, I think the all-time high is in Penn Gaming.
Oh, damn.
Or at least for I would say I would be able to do a lunch bet that this thing, what's the all-time closing high? All-time closing high, and I haven't said this the whole time in this major run here.
140 something?
136.47. The day that it was announced, folks, just why you don't jump in the pool with everybody else.
Yeah.
That day, it closed on the Friday, it closed at 130.47. It went to 142. Closed at 136.47. Barely sniffed that level. The following day went to 137.13. These are the kind of candles. These are the kind of destruction that you see in stocks when they make major turns, where they hit a new level and then they give it back. And you know why? Because you have a bunch of bag holders now. Like you bought this thing at 120 in the middle of last week. You're looking like a king at 140. Okay? You don't look at your account. You don't sign on. You're busy. You go on vacation. You come back to things at 112. There is overhead supply built in this stock. The mania of the Final Four. I might be wrong. I'm not taking a position, but that is some technical damage inflicted. How's Donkey Kong?
Joel, I respect you making a call. I respect it. You could be wrong, but I respect it.
Oh, yeah. DKNG's holding up better, but that hasn't been as ridiculous. So I don't know. Just keep an eye on it. We'll continue to talk about it. Continuing to make new lows here into the session. We can't find a bottom here. Where are the pre-market prep buyers? 39.06. We're right on the lows of the 05.5. We are heading for 3,900, folks. We are not having a good at the close. We might have, if you guys are going to continue to sell like this in the last half hour, then I might just stop doing the show because you guys are hurting the market.
Just to address Com Minnow, I'm not sure how to in the chat. Here she's asking if you're really being for real about your tone. Guys, Joel is constantly trying to talk himself out of how he feels. If Joel is feeling bullish, he's trying to talk himself out of that. If he is feeling bearish, he is trying to talk himself out of that. He is constantly trying to stay as close. He has his feelings, and he tries to rein himself in all the time. That's how Joel feels about the market.
I try to be a contrarian within my own personality.
Yes. He's got multi-personality disorder when it comes to the market here.
Triple D. I mean, that guy. You say as negative as Triple D. I think he's probably like always the most optimistic, bullish person that I've ever worked with.
Yeah, he's pretty. I mean, the thing about Dennis is when he's bearish for like 15 minutes, and then he's bullish, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
But I just want to address that question real quick.
Yeah.
There, and just referring to Dennis's tone and my tone or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, take the market in a historical perspective. Okay.
Yeah.
We have had just an incredible run coming out of a pandemic. Okay.
Yeah.
The market is discounting. The market is basically saying that everyone's going back to Kohl's, right? Everybody, once they get their vaccine. Oh, wait, what happened at Kohl's? They pulled the rug out from under it.
Oh, it's the whole market. It's everything.
Yeah. Macy's, okay? up till, well, Macy's hit 21. Carnival Cruise Lines. Right. And the market is saying that we are immediately coming out of this pandemic and everyone's going on vacation. And everyone's going to be spending tons of money.
Yeah.
That's what the market's saying. So I hope that's, I want to believe that, but there's something, something tells me that not everything turns out the way it's supposed to be.
Exactly. We never see it coming, right? Like I guarantee you there wasn't a single bear that saw the pandemic coming, right? They may have been bearish for other reasons, and they ended up being right, but for the wrong reason, right?
Me and Dennis were bearish in end of January. We got our head handed to us in February.
Not what I meant. I meant the people that were bearish all the way up in 2015, 16, all these years. People that we had them on our show. People, you're allowed to be bearish, think whatever you think. And it could have been the yield curve inversion from 2019. It could have been valuations. It could have been whatever reason, but it wasn't the pandemic. You never see the real thing coming, right? So that's what. Just to finish that thought on what the market is pricing in and how it's never quite that easy. Just to finish up this list here, we mentioned NXPI is being added. We mentioned Penn National is being added. GenRx being added. The last one being added to the S&P 500 as of Monday morning is Caesars CZR. Those are the 4 stocks being added to the S&P 500 on.
I don't even want to look at this chart. Let's see.
On Monday morning. As of Monday morning, they'll be in the index.
Yeah. That's all the news.
Okay, and then the ones that are getting taken out. So again, the stocks that all the fund managers that track the index are going to have to sell are Flowserve, right? FLS. Let me take a look. Okay. That's hanging in there. Go ahead. SL Green Realty, SLG, a REIT.
Yeah, we're not going to need REITs anymore, huh? Go ahead.
Common name to drop anytime. Like, remember when they were adding Tesla? They're like, "Oh, who's going to get taken out?" A lot of people thought Xerox might get taken out when Tesla got added, but it didn't. It's getting It's getting taken out now. Thank you very much, Joel. And then VNT is the last one that is being taken out of the S&P 500.
Folks, and then we talked about this earlier in the week. You got to look at what their composition in the index they're coming out of. If they're a large composition in the index that they're coming out of, then the indexes are going to have to sell that stock, right?
Oh, yeah.
If more people have to sell the stock than have to buy it, then it goes down. So you got to do your homework on these ads, and there's it's just not as easy as it's getting out of the S&P 500. It's got to go up. So do your homework. There's math on this. There's history. So go back and look at it. SPOOS just ticked 39,0050. I was looking for 3,900. Missed it by a couple ticks. We'll see if we can rebound here going into the close. 9 minutes left.
Question from chat about Roblox. Why is my Roblox dropping? Man, it's not Roblox.
Why is it dropping?
It's not just Roblox. It's everything. Okay? It's everything. It is Unity, which Buck said he bought this morning. Ticker U is in trouble, right?
Oh my God, Buck's gonna have a losing trade?
Oh, you're so mean. It's not just your
Hope stock. You're not listening, Buck.
It's not your stock, man. It's everybody. It's everybody's stocks, except for here's a couple. You want some names that are holding up?
No. I want to. Who's complaining about roadblocks here?
Muhammad. Muhammad and Christopher.
Muhammad, do you look at daily highs on a chart? Do you look at what a stock does? Its third day of trading, it goes to 77.78. And then one day. When did it get the Kathy bump? That was Tuesday.
2-3 days ago, yeah.
Yep. So it matches that high. It goes to 78, right? And then yesterday, we're still living off the Kathy euphoria.
Yep.
It goes to 79.10.
Yep.
So you have 3 highs basically within $1.10. What does that tell you? that tells you that someone's selling this stock on strength, right? So let's say you were saying, okay, 78 is a halfway decent level, right? Let's see if it sees 78 today. No can do. It opens at 76. It barely gets green on the session. The all-time closing high is 77. And it puked and rolled over like a lot of other Kathy stocks. So, you got very limited data on this thing. Use the data to your advantage instead of saying, hey, oh man, what happened? This stock's down $8. It's a new IPO. It's going to have volatility. It got artificially inflated with the Kathy buy. Made made 3 highs in the same area. A simple pattern or not, you can't call it a triple top because it's like a buck and a half away. But when institutions are moving in and out of stocks, they're not as picky as me and say, oh, I got to sell this at 78. They say, hey, they give an order to a desk and say, get me out of 500,000 shares. The average price is 75.5. And then they work the order over a couple days. So just look, keep an eye, especially on a new IPO. I mean, look at the daily levels and see what they're giving you.
At the top of the show, I said, hey, chat, help me out. Give me some names that aren't selling off, that are holding up. Chat came through. Cannabis is holding up some of it, not all. AMC is in the green today, Joel. AMC is up 3% today. And at the same time, GameStop is at a key psychological level.
Okay. Nice move here. I did AMX. That's not going to do it for our AMC. Yeah. Tight range today. Wow. Is that really true? Is that the range this thing's at? Wow. 1454. You got into this gap area. You know what? I don't know how much upside this has. I don't know if it's going back to $20. But what I can tell you that if we lose, I can't tell you, this is strictly for informational purposes. If you lose tomorrow's low or today's low, which will be tomorrow, 1357, your close yesterday was 1356. I would have a little alert set that if it took that out, because your next daily low is 13. And then your next daily low after that is 1234, 1185, 990. So it drops off. So it's holding in there pretty good, a pretty good volume day, but you got a good level to keep an eye on tomorrow.
And then GameStop, Joel. It is perilously close it's perilously at
Let's see.
Critical level.
200?
Yeah. Psychological level. Yeah, maybe not.
Well, I think you have to be crazy to trade the stock, but I would. Boy, these are some quiet ranges, huh? Look at the last 2 days here. He did not get an inside day. You know what? I'm going to hold judgment off on this one. It's too crazy for me.
Too crazy for Joel. All right, guys, 3:56, 4 minutes until Joel and I are going to hop about the Benzinga Cannabis Hour. It's seriously a fantastic show. Jennifer Dooley from Green Thumb. She's the COO. We've got the COO of Driven by Stems, and we've got the CPO of Fluent on the Cannabis Hour at 4 o'clock, top of the hour here in a couple of minutes.
You know what would be a good name for that show?
What?
You're dreading. Spencer dreads. You're like my wife. Like I'd say, I got a good idea. You're like, oh, oi.
What is it?
Have you ever heard of the term, if you got them, smoke them?
No, actually I haven't.
You've never heard of that term?
No.
Has anybody in the chat ever heard of that term? I bet you'll see if we got some old people in here. That's what I don't think maybe my dad made that up. That's what they used to say in the Army, when they were busy. Yep. If you got them, smoke them.
Smoke them if you got them? Okay, yeah. All right, yeah.
All right, what do we want to do into the close here? We only have 3 minutes.
Just a couple, can you pull up the S&Ps here so we can just see, because I just noticed that we bounced for the first time in like an hour.
Yeah, because we hit a psychological level, Spencer. 3,900 here. I wonder if the Fed trading room tunes into the at the close show. We're getting a bounce off 3,900. Boom, made a new low for the week. I mean, that's pretty nice. What was your low here? Your low was 39,0075. So you got a bogey. You got 3,900 overnight. It's kind of hard on the upside, man. I'm gonna have to do some homework after the close to find the intermediate level on the upside. But 3,900 will be important overnight. Below that, not much until 38.50. Remember, we got the quad witch. So, yep, Max knows from the military. We got some people if you got them.
All right, remember, we've got FedEx and Nike earnings after the close today. That's pretty much it on the earnings front. We're just about the end of earnings season. So, sure. FedEx and Nike, MP Materials, if you care about that sort of thing. And that's pretty much it on the earnings front. Okay. 359. Let's do like a couple of tickers from the chat. Hey, how did TKAT do today? Did that hold up?
Oh, yeah. Who was a guy bragging in the chat? Mr. Braggadocious. Like, I bought this.
Listen,
who is that guy?
You know what? Here's the way I see it.
That guy's never coming back in it. Did you guys ban him? Because I told you to ban him.
No, here's the way I see it. If you made a great trade and you want to celebrate, great for you, man. Great or woman. Great for you. Great for you.
Yeah,
you made a great trade. That's the kind of how I see it. It's not for everyone.
I'll just tell you right now, and it's an Amex stock. I'm just looking at this thing, and I don't know about today. I don't know about tomorrow. I don't know in 2 days, 5 days, 6 weeks. But $30 is a level to me, man. You made a low just under 20, a high at 40. You're closing at 30. If this puppy holds 30, boom. 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. If it can't hold 30, 20, 15, 10, 5, 0. That's what I'm looking at. Those are my targets. My targets are 0 or 60. How's that for you, folks?
That's a target. All right, final tally. We are done. There's your closing bell. S&P 500 closed down about 1.5%. NASDAQ closed down a little over 3%. Russell 2000 closed down about 3% as well. Everything from
you gotta let me go. I'm going to a digital art auction.
What?
Yes, I'm going to use some NTFs.
No,
I'm going to buy me some digital art. So have fun on the cannabis show.
NFTs. I can't even tell if Joel's serious or not. All right, it's 4:00. Let's bring on Elliot and Javier from the Cannabis Hour, and let's get Joel and myself out of here. Elliot, Javier, what's up? Your show, guys. I'm heading out.